Welcome to LifeBlood. This is George G, and the time is right. Welcome to today's guest, strong and powerful Joe Evangelisti. Joe, are you ready to do this?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Joe is an entrepreneur. He is a coach. He's a veteran podcast host as well as a veteran. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
He is helping people to unlock their potential and make life-changing transformations. Joe, I'm excited to have you on. Tell us a little bit about your personal life, some more about your work, and why you do what you do.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, no. So personal life, let's see. I got two little girls, 9 and 12, and a beautiful wife and two dogs. And I love real estate. That's about the summation of my personal life. Yeah, I mean, why I do what I do? It's a great question. I just because I'm passionate about it, I'm driven for it. It's exciting for me. And I feel like most people should try to find what drives them and go out there and do it. Right. I got lucky enough. I've been in construction my entire life. It's actually, like you mentioned, I was in the military. I was in the U.S. Navy Seabees for many years and did construction for the military, which a lot of people don't realize you can do, especially in the Navy. And then right after that, got out and started flipping houses. And my partner and I did about 1,000 flips, fix and flips and rehabs in 12 years. And finally called it quits about 3 or 4 years ago and decided to pivot into self-storage development. So that's what we do now. We buy amazing pieces of ground all over the US and develop them into retail self-storage and retail componentry, and we get to bring along some amazing people, some amazing contractors, developers, real estate investors, and, of the like, people like that.
Love it. So how do people find what drives them? I think that's if you could help somebody connect with that probably the nicest, most wonderful thing you could ever do for them.
Yeah, I tell people this all the time, and it's really, really true because a lot of people don't believe this, but every one of us has an absolute superpower. I don't care what it is, right? Like you could be the most amazing cake baker. You could be some incredible skateboarder. You could be really, really good at negotiating real estate deals. You could be a great salesperson, but every human being has not only something that we're really, really great at, but usually the reason that we're great at it is because we enjoy the hell out of it, right? We're passionate about it. And so, the challenge is not only finding that, but then having the guts to go after it. And I think the second part is the most difficult for a lot of people, right? A lot of people know what they're great at, but they're driven to say, okay, well, that's, I'm not meant for that, or I'm not capable of making that into a business, or why would anybody want to learn that from me? I hear that a lot, right? The reality of it is there are people making millions and millions of dollars all over this world, basically selling what they're great at. I mean, I was just using an example the other day. I bought a stretching video. Like stretching, like I don't even know how it came up. I just decided I do jiu-jitsu and it's really better if I'm more flexible. And this thing comes across my Facebook ad and it's, $37, this advanced stretching course. You think about it. This he sold millions and millions of these things. In fact, when you go online and you Google his name, you'll find it just massive, right? Literally multi-millionaire teaching people how to stretch. If he can do it, anybody can do it. Right.
I love it. So it's fear, it's unworthiness, what is it? It requires guts.
It's mindset. It's people. A lot of us unfortunately feel that, we're not good enough, or the self-doubt creeps in, or I'm not worthy of success. These are the modalities of fear, right? That, I'm not worthy, or if I try something, I might fail, or if I try something, there's people that are going to be paying attention that are going to maybe mock me or make fun of me or judge me because I didn't do something well. And that's really the three major modalities of fear. And so our mindset shift, what I do with my clients is I really go behind the curtain and try to figure out like what drives them, what are their obstacles, what values, what morals are they driven by, and then where do they stop? Like, where's that like roadblock for them? And a lot of times it's resetting their mindset on what they think is capable, what they think they're capable of, and unlocking that true potential through figuring out what the fear is. Once we know what the fear is and we can define it, a lot of times it's amazing. You'll see when you literally write it down and you make it real, then you start to look at, okay, well, what's the worst case scenario? What could possibly happen? Well, my dreams could come true, but people might make fun of me. Well, that's a pretty good trade-off, right? right? So for a lot of folks, it's really just unlocking those limiting beliefs that are holding them back from their own success, from their own abilities.
Nice. So you and your partner, you're out there flipping, dozens, almost 100 houses a year, for goodness
Yep.
sakes, just a ton of them, do 1,000 of them.
Yep.
And then for a variety of reasons, you decide to get into self-storage.
Yep.
So was that just like, oh, just wake up one day, or did you have fear and apprehension?
Yeah. Well, I fear about getting into self storage. Yeah. So it was a big move for us. Basically a scalable option. I think, if there's one thing that this whole COVID thing has done for most of us, it's a lot of business owners. I'm going to say most of us, but a lot of business owners, adversity plants the seed for opportunity. Right. And so a lot of times when this adversity hits us, we start to realize, like, in order for us to survive, we have to pivot. We have to course correct. We have to make a change. And reflection back on that, a lot of times when this unfounded adversity, or this out of left field adversity, like a pandemic, comes across, you start to realize that you probably ought to, maybe should have been doing that thing all along. Right. And it helps people start to, define what's working and what's not working, and what's really working a lot better. And I think you saw that around the world, where a lot of businesses took off for the last 2 years. And the reason why is they were forced to pivot. I had one of my companies, we had 14 live salespeople in the office every single day. And on March 13th, 2020, I remember the date for some odd reason, we called them up and said, don't come to work. And they were all like, what are you talking about? We're going Zoom, guys. We're going virtual. We're going Zoom. We'll send you training. In 48 hours, our entire company went virtual. And, the adversity created the opportunity, which was, I figured out, we don't need to hire people that are just in our backyard, right? I'm hiring people in Venezuela and Panama and, in all parts of the country that are actually way, way more skilled and talented, because I'm not locking them into coming to an office every day. All of a sudden I can expand the horizons of the availability of the human, uh, you know, uh, treasure that's out there, of all the people that are capable. And so I think a lot of businesses experience that during this time. And that's just one example of adversity creating change that maybe should have been here all along. People are downsizing their offices, they're shifting, they're creating more opportunities online. People are working virtually. And for a lot of owners, it's that also that mindset shift of, well, I feel like I have to have control of them. If they're not in front of me all day, every day, are they going to be working? Right. And what they found, I think, by loosening up that grip and letting go of that vine, was that not only do people work better when they have freedom, but they're more passionate about it. Right. They're not, they're more committed to their work, and they feel like they're more tied to something, even if they're sitting in their own living room.
Do you think do you know if you are wired differently than most people? It strikes me, just in the short amount of time that we spent together, that when you run into something and it slows you down, you don't sit there and get sad about it. You just keep moving and keep moving until you find your way either through it or around it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not unique in that way. I can tell you that, because hundreds of coaching clients that I've had, finding ways to unlock that is the key to success. I was actually on the call with my own coach this week, and what we were talking about is what we call the refractory period, right? So, like, what is Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, any major performer at the peak of their ability, Michael Jordan, what makes them special is how quick they recover. Right? It's how quick they get knocked down and get back up, shake it off, and focus. And MJ could miss that 3-pointer that, was 10 seconds away from winning the game. Okay, well, I could spend the next 10 seconds, crying in my soup and lose the game, or I could spend the next 10 seconds coming up with a game plan to figure out how to get the ball back and score so we could win. And that's what Brady does. That's what Tiger does. I mean, look at the pressure Tiger played in over years and years and came back to win another Masters. I mean, that's what the peak performers of the world do, is they learn how to bounce back quickly.
Yeah. What did you call that? Refractory?
We call it the recovery period or the refractory period, right? It's like that time where you have to catch your breath. Because let's think about this. Every business owner, if you're doing something notable, right, you're getting slapped in the face every day, right? Like every day there's a right hook. Every day there's a challenge, there's a problem. Maybe not every day, but damn near feels like every day, right? And so it's a matter of, when these things happen, what are you going to do about it? right? Are you going to spend 3 days complaining about it and whining about it? Or are you going to pick yourself up and go back into the game? And that's what makes peak performers different. When you see people that are out there that we want to emulate, why does that guy always seem so happy? Why does he always seem like he has it together? Why does he always seem like he has all the answers? It's not that he does. It's just that he's easier. He's capable of bouncing back quicker, and he's present, and he's focused, and he's a problem solver. Generally, he or she. I'm not just talking about men out there, obviously, but amazing leaders generally are able to bounce back quick.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think that's right. So how are you spending your time right now? What does a regular day look like, if there's such a thing?
Yeah, I actually love to have completely different days every day. That, to me, I am a variety guy. I can't have the same schedule all the time. But I mean, for the most part, the beginning of the week looks like me getting my companies going. So I run 3 different companies, and I do that off of what I call an L10 meeting, which is something out of Traction, the book Traction, if anybody's ever read that book. But hour and a half meeting, get the team situated, get them straight for the day. And I might do a couple coaching calls during those days. And then Wednesdays, Thursdays, there's mastermind group meetings. It's podcasting. It's, doing amazing interviews like this. And then I leave my Fridays empty, and my Fridays are generally empty to fill in the blanks if I need to get some stuff done in the morning, or, spend the afternoon with my wife. And, if the kids are off during the summer, or if I can pick them up early from school, the Fridays are generally my calming down days. And then I spend the weekend getting set up for the following week.
Nice. Tell me about the masterminds that you are a part of or that you're running.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. I do 2 different types of, masterminds, and we'll go to amazing places. Like, we just got back from Tulum, Mexico a couple of weeks ago. And we spent half the time working on, mindset and obstacles and challenges and business and, whatever it is we want to solve at the boardroom table. And then we spend half the time, out there having fun, right? Doing expeditions, going on yacht trips, we did zip lining, we did some scuba diving, we did some, all kinds of just different activities. And what I found was, over the course of years of running these things, sitting around a conference table for 2 days is great and all. It's fun. You get some problems solved. A lot of times you leave there, you feel really good. But really, the best interactions, the best networking, the best lifelong connections, they're built around a fireplace. Maybe with a whiskey in your hand, or when you're out there riding a ATV at 50 miles an hour and you're bonding with somebody. You're like, those to me are the best type of events, because you're mixing in, yes, we're going to solve problems, yes, it's a write-off, yes, this is business, but we can also have fun when we're doing business.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It is you can get a lot done with whiteboards and a conference room table, but the experiential stuff and the human element, and there's something about fire, I think, also. And I know that there's something about whiskey, Joe.
There's definitely something about fire. You're onto something, George, because the fire and whiskey combination, that's where lifelong connections are built.
For sure. So is that part of your real estate business? I'm confident it's part of your coaching.
Yeah. So I would say 90% of people who come to those events have some kind of real estate, either need or want. Maybe they're running a law practice, but they want to start investing in real estate. Maybe they're, I have one of my, I'm just thinking of some of the people that are coming to Vail in a couple of weeks. One of them's a nationwide general contractor who's looking to invest in real estate, whether he's an accredited investor in a deal or whether he starts buying his own real estate. So I think there's a real estate component, but I like to mix up the room with different business owners. I don't want people who are just real estate investors necessarily. Some of them are, but I like bringing in an attorney. I love bringing in someone who owns an insurance company or a marketing agency or an IT firm, because the truth is, when you're sitting in a room full of people that all do exactly what you do, you don't solve as many problems as if you're in a diverse room of people who have experiences from all different walks of life, who can chip in and say, hey, I've had that problem. This is what worked for me.
Yeah. I'm sure it's possible to learn from people who are just like you, but you're missing out on so much from just a lived experience perspective, but from just the perspective that people are coming at and everything. So I appreciate that. Yep. So when you are putting these masterminds together, how are you advertising them? Like you say, this is Come to Vail.
Literally social media. Yeah. Hey guys, we're going to Vail in a couple of weeks. Hit me up if you want some information on that. And they PM me because, I look at myself as the curator of the room. I mean, these are events that I run, but it's not just come learn from Joe and he's going to stand there and preach to you for 3 days. This is curating the room with a bunch of people who have some level of really good success and they're going to add value to the room. So it's not just because you can afford to come, you should show up, because a lot of people have checkbooks, right? And I always say, I'll try to do this without cursing. Like I always say, we have a no a-hole rule, right? So like one will spoil the entire event, so I want to interview them. I want to talk to them. If it's not somebody I've known for a long time, what is it you're looking to take away from the event? What is it that you're looking to bring to the event? And generally curating the room is my number one job, getting a really, really good room full of people so you don't have that bad apple. And that's what makes the experience so much more epic is, you can find really just amazing people to spend time with.
So when you're doing maybe a postmortem, well, what do you want to hear from somebody that's going to make it a successful event?
Well, you mean feedback from a previous event?
Yeah.
I want to hear their takeaways. Like, what did you learn? Who did you connect with? Because everyone's coming there with at least one big obstacle. I try to tell them to keep it 3 or less because, if you try to solve 10 problems, you're never going to go take action on them. But give me your one big obstacle. I guarantee we could overcome your obstacle. We've never had an event where we couldn't overcome that obstacle with the people in the room. Right. And a lot of people are, they're trying to build a good culture. They're trying to figure out how to recruit the right team. They're trying to figure out how to take care of the team they have and incentivize them so they can get, a better work product out of them while still making them happy and more, productive people in society and community. Some people are looking to, just raise private money. Right. So, it's a lot of, again, getting outside your comfort zone and just, we call it paradigm shifting, right? So like if you've never, spoke on stage before, you might be super nervous about that, but then we get you in front of a stage, you start speaking, now all of a sudden you're a speaker, right? That's a paradigm shift that, you can never go back to not being a speaker once you stood in front of 100 people and made a speech, right? So, creating those paradigm shifts where it's like, I'm not sure about how to raise private money. Now I have raised private money. Now I feel like it's more tied to me, or, I haven't been comfortable speaking, but now I'm an event speaking in front of people. Ways to just help people break through those zones where they can come to a new paradigm. And usually that discomfort, or again, that adversity we were talking about earlier, that's what breeds opportunity, right? Where like when we shift into those new paradigms and all of a sudden you find yourself in a new opportunity, that's where that creationary thing happens.
Love it. Like Napoleon Hill said, every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit.
There you go. There you go. I think that quote's been bastardized about 10,000 times in the last 100 years. But
yeah. I certainly imagine. Joe, the people are ready for your difference-making tip, even though you've given us a lot. What do you have for them?
Yeah, difference-making tip is going to sound so simple, but it's take action, right? I have clients all the time, or people come up to me and say, I've been thinking about this thing a long time. And whether you believe in faith, the bigger universe, a God, a religion, somebody, and I always say, God is tapping you on the shoulder, right? If you're dreaming about this thing, if you're thinking about this thing, if you're constantly focused on what if I had that success, or if I was able to make this a business, or if I was able to make this a viable thing, or if I was able to free my time up more, that's God tapping you on the shoulder saying, take advantage, get outside your comfort zone, right? Hire a coach, hire a mentor, get around the right room of people that can help you succeed, because those people will help push you to that end goal, to that end dream. So it's really take action on your dreams, right? So many of us live these lives of quiet desperation, go decades without taking action. I can't tell you how many coaching clients I have in their 50s that say to me, man, I just wasted 20 years and my kids are grown up and out of the house. And I need to buy that time back. We don't get to buy time back, George.
I think that is great stuff. That definitely gets, come on. Not the lives of quiet desperation thing. That is not good stuff. That is an awful thing. And
well, it's true, but it happens.
Your point is well taken. I mean, there's never going to be a better time than right now to do this stuff, man. So
ever. Never. People are waiting. I'll wait for the COVID restrictions. I'll wait for this. I'll wait for that. You're going to wait until you wake up 10 years from now and wonder what happened in the last decade. And I just can't stand to see that happen to people, which is why we go out and do these type of events.
Love it. Well, Joe, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people learn more about you? How can they engage, and how can they get to one of these events?
Yeah, they can actually visit my Facebook wall, Joe Evangelisti. They can search me out. They can friend me. They can follow me there. Most of the time, that's where we're posting things on these things. They can also go to legacybuilder.coach, legacybuilder.coach, not .com, .coach. And again, that's where we host all of our. There's a ton of free downloads there, and ways to help you achieve more success in life.
Love it. Well, if you enjoyed as much as I did, show Joe your appreciation and share today's show with a friend who also appreciates good ideas. Find Joe on Facebook, and I will link that in the notes of the show, and then go to legacybuilder.coach and take advantage of all the great resources, and maybe find yourself sitting in front of a fire with a whiskey, solving that big problem that you've been just ruminating on for so long. Thanks again, Joe.
Thank you.
And until next time, keep fighting the good fight. We are all in this together.